Uncle, we're very privileged to have you include St. George Church in Newcastle as part of your itinerary. So thank you very much for visiting us. Is this your first time coming to Australia?
Well, first of all, I thank you very much that you accept me and you received me so kindly. And Newcastle, I don't remember, because the first time that I came to Australia, it was in 1994, and they took me everywhere. I was in Melbourne and Adelaide, but I don't remember really if I came here before.
So what inspired the trip this time?
Here in Newcastle?
Yes.
Well,
or just to Australia in general?
In Australia, I loved from the first time really Australia. Atmospheres, the people are very keen to understand, to learn, to know, and also the kindness of everybody. Many families was for the first time that I don't go to the hotel, but I have to be in the family. Lovely, lovely, and I found the face here in Newcastle, as in everywhere in Australia, and happily many Coptic people are in this country. I wonder if you have how many people in Australia named Coptic, you know?
Coptic people?
Yeah.
I'm going to take a guess at maybe
200,000 or half million?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Why is it that you're wondering about that?
Because
I'm sure there was a lot less in 1994.
I tell you why I'm wondering. Because in some countries, the people, the origin from the countries, and in England or in France, it's Christian people. We are happy that the Coptic people are here because we need to Christianize this country, and we feel that you are good elements to be. That's why I say Australia, I think that it can be like in France, and what I have heard there, more than half century now in France, and I think Australia has that chance to have people like you.
When you first visited Australia, whether it was in 1994 or this time, did you have any culture shocks or any surprises in the culture that in contrast to France?
Well, the thing is that I see that more churches, Coptic churches, and more roots also, because I remember sometimes to go to the countryside, it was not very good roots, but now I see the development, and also the first time in our field of archaeology, just one person, Nagib Kanawati. He is a great friend and colleague, but little by little I found that in Macquarie University and Sydney and Melbourne and even Adelaide, we have some more now, and it is very important that the people can hear or learn about the history, not only of this country, of Near East. Near East is very important, where we can find the sources of the faith, the religion.
How are you planning on giving any lectures during this visit to Australia in any of the universities that you named just now, Macquarie or Melbourne?
Yes, Macquarie and Sydney, and I'm happy to return back to see also Macquarie. I was very happy to be the external examiner of the thesis of Macquarie or Sydney, maybe Melbourne. Since more than 30 years now, I received the thesis, and they trust me to be the the examination of their thesis.
That's excellent.
Yes,
Very good.
master or doctorate.
I have a question about your curiosity with whenever we have an exhibition in say the same country that you are in. For example, right now in Australia, so in Sydney we have a virtual reality exhibition that is supposed to be part of the antiquities of Egypt. Do these kinds of exhibitions, if you happen to be in the same country, do they spark your critique or your interest at all to go and explore other people's portrayal of our heritage, or you prefer
Yes,
to?
you mean,
So do you like
from
to visit?
Egyptian antiquities, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
Of course.
Especially if it's on display in other countries.
Of course, it is the best thing, not only, to understand this marvelous, extraordinary civilization, not only for you as Egyptian or Coptic, but also for the people here, the Australian people. The first time that I touched the importance, the great importance of that, when I was preparing my thesis in the Sorbonne in Paris, and it was 1 year before I finished my thesis. It was the exhibition of Ramses II, and I was very astonished that millions of people want to see. I have a privilege that the Louvre, they named me, or me as one who receives the important people, came from Egypt, the ministers and actors and the cinema actors like this. And I found especially the French people, they were amazing. I even went to the airport when the plane arrived. Wow! Alors, many great military people was waiting, and generals and prime minister, and when the plane landed, it is tapis rouge, and the music, yes, in French, and tapis rouge, yes, and all those generals, and Ramses come as a real and alive, and the canon, boom, boom, 21. A great king, and they call a great king of the world, come, arriving in our soul, in our earth. I can't believe myself.
I'm sure
to
they'll be very proud.
All the marshal and so happiness and astonishment.
What advice would you give to students, whether they are Coptic or non-Coptic, when researching in your field? What advice would you give students who share your passion for the field?
Well, first of all, to have some teachers, professors, who can explain simply the thing from the beginning. And I think it is not always easy to say, well, I'm going to preach this Egyptology and to create. The people can feel, the student, the young student can feel if they like such or such, Coptic studies, or linguistic in Coptic, or pure Egyptology, biblical archaeology. I began with Egyptology myself, and little by little I began to be interested in Coptic culture and language, and then biblical archaeology. Because if you have the key of the research, you can go, and even if you want, I have a very big library in Islamic culture, and I became expert by the government for that. So So, well, but the people can choose. They have to have, from the beginning, wide knowledge, and they can choose afterwards. We can't urge them to do Coptology or Egyptology or biblical archaeology.
So at the level of our homes, what would your advice be to parents who are trying to teach their children about the heritage of their country in Egypt?
This is a very important question.
Yes.
Very important. Unfortunately, we haven't enough families or parents that they encourage their children to read. Even we have a lot of sample books concerning ancient Egypt or Christian Coptic Egypt, or even some books, handbooks for the Bible. I'm sorry to say that, maybe the only one, not only in my family, but in the city where I was, that I was very, I don't know why. I began with the Old Testament, and even our father, the priest of our church, was very astonished that I love very much the Old Testament, and I can speak. Sometimes they speak about that, because I found Babylonians, Assyrians, Canaanite, and the Hebrew and all these things. I was very keen of that. Well, it is very important to encourage the children to read or to have something like today, and we can be more simple than I have done. I don't know, and to have at the same time the children to listen, because unfortunately we didn't attain any level until now we can be proud to do. I don't know what to do. Maybe it is much better here, but well, I can't judge. But it is very important to teach and to be amateur in the beginning. I was amateur when I was young, but it come like this. When I began to read, I see my father read each morning the Bible, and I got his Bible. And when I was 14 years old, I bought mine. I have it until now, and it is plenty of lines. And sometimes from the family, it is heretic. How to do that? I don't bother. Say, I would like to understand and to remember. And until now, when the people say, it is not good. No, it is very good. It is just paper, but what in it is very important.
That is one of the best ways to engage with the text, to consume it, not just to read it, but to consume it.
Well, I need some people, they don't need to sign, but for me it was like this. Yeah.
What actually inspired you to specifically focus on the Egyptology in your... Did you always know you wanted to study this, or this passion developed over time after reading the Bible, as you said?
Well, the Bible guided me, but it was not only Egyptology, but we have in Egypt only Egyptology. So I went to the archaeology, it is Egyptology. That's why, well, of course, the Bible, when I was 14, 15, 16, I loved very much, and maybe my father helped me a lot. He said that I like very much, I love. So when you find a journal or a magazine, they cut an article, it is excavation, keep it, even before you read. Well, we are 7 children, but I was the only one very interested. And even I became the person who who must direct the radio of the school. From preparatory school, الإعدادية, also the secondary school. So I try to explain to my colleagues, especially in the entr'acte, what you call it, فسحة. And even in the morning, I give some information, I prepare little things. I have at least in the morning 10 minutes. It is a lot, 10 minutes in the morning, and then during the الفسحة in the middle of the day, I have about 20 minutes or something like this. And even I put some music. I love very much the music, very much I choose. And well, I found that when in secondary school, many people and many teachers come to listen. Teachers come to listen.
So when I say you had 30 minutes every day, and yes, you had to prepare the material from the night before.
Quickly done. My father was my press attaché. Attaché press. He prepared for me, and I have a background, yes, and even very small things about the politics. Muhammad Naguib, Gamal Abdel Nasser said that, and he's going to build. We have something called the Mithaq. What does it mean, Mithaq? So I give a few minutes of what happened in Egypt, and then some culture I like very much. About cinema, theater. I used to be an actor, and I was #1 in Cairo University in '68. الميدالية الذهبية لأحسن ممثل غير محترف ومخرج وأنا صغير. This is something.
Can I quickly translate that? So that means the golden medal for the best
the best actor, and it came from the very famous actors that they came to see when we have been selected. Yes, like El Shenawi and many. Yes, and this one. And he called, well, it's more than that. When we finished, he called me to work with him.
How long did you work with him?
But I didn't.
Oh, you don't?
I didn't. I didn't. They let me think. I found it is not my way.
Not your path.
But I love very much. But I like very much the theater. Like very much the theater. And even I help the other how to move, how to do. Don't be like that. Be free.
So what kind of music are you into? What's the music you played on?
Well, I like all classic, of course, because what around Kulthum. I can't resist. And some very nice of Abdul Wahab. And the music of Farid al-Atrash. I was very keen of art, all sorts of art. That's why I taught also icons. Yes, I teach. I used to teach also. You know, if you have the keys of research, you can. And so now I teach in many theological faculties in Egypt and even Germany or London. Yes, I am volunteer. But before I became retired, it is not because I am retired.
If you can quickly share with us, Uncle, your biggest challenges or your biggest accomplishments, maybe the biggest achievements that you've done in your whole career, or even if you wanted to share something in your whole life, not necessarily in just your career, but the biggest challenges, the things that you prize the most to your heart.
I tell you, it is since many years now, I like very much to develop my knowledge first and teach about biblical archaeology through hieroglyphic text. because a lot they have done through Hebrew and Babylonian, but we neglected a lot about our richness in hieroglyph. So I discovered we have a lot of things to add for the knowledge of all over, well, for all the people, not only for our Coptic people or Egyptian in general. So this I would like to develop more and more, and to find more text.
What was your biggest finding in biblical archaeology?
First, this text.
For example, something you found and you're very proud of finding that particular thing, or information. It doesn't have to be something.
It's the existence, of course, of Hebrew in Egypt. I hear sometimes, well, it is a mythology, they don't exist, and we have a very important text on hieroglyph and even images. But many people know me and the colleagues, but he's Egyptologist. Why do you speak about Bible? And because he's Christian. No, I'm Christian. It is for myself and my faith, but I'm very interested in biblical archaeology. That is it.
Have you come across any Australian slang while you were here? Slang language, so colloquialisms from Australia.
No, no, not really. No, not really. I have heard about some text not very far from here. I would like to see it. They said that it is in hieroglyph, in the way between Sydney and Newcastle.
Okay.
I have heard.
Very good. Thank you very much, Uncle Ashraf, for your time. I'm very privileged to have spent this time with you, so thank you for the time.
It is me, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.